Hi, welcome to Tech Talk. I'm Kevin Steeprow, Vice President, Design Engineering here at Red River. Today we're joined by Bill Halpin, our Design Architect for Mobility and Wireless. Hey, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So we'll just jump right into this. I'm hearing tons about Wi-Fi 6, 5G, all these cool, wireless technologies. Can you give us a little background on what that really is?
Sure. I mean, you're calling it Wi-Fi 6. If you look at the standard base, it's considered 802.11a6 or AX, and it's basically Wi-Fi 6. It's next generation wireless LAN technology. It's very exciting, Kevin. I mean, you look at where we come from 1999, where it was 802.11b, which was an 11 megabit wireless environment that we shared the media on, to today's environment where it's actually a wireless switch off the access point. Exciting times that we're in.
That's it. I think back to the real old days where 1200 baud modem.
Yeah,
even
exactly.
that B was pretty fast, but it's amazing to think about gigabit speeds and everything now today.
Yeah.
With the 5G and the Wi-Fi 6, we hear about overlap, but what's that overlap really look like?
Well, in the 5G world, it's really built for the cellular, the carriers, the Verizons, AT&T in the world, but it's basically Wi-Fi 6 is an enhancement to that, right? I mean, if you think about it today, Kevin, everybody everywhere has a phone and they want access to the internet. And the way 5G and Wi-Fi 6 is enabled, it's basically a secure communications that's fast, reliable, and it's basically anytime, anywhere connectivity, right?
Yep. And again, to me, it makes a lot. I can really see the utility there when you think about mobile phones for sure,
yeah.
iPads, mobile tablets, things like that. But even laptops, Mac or PC, they're not coming with Ethernet cards. So you've got certainly the security and the speed and performance. But I'm imagining there's got probably something else behind that too that's driving Wi-Fi 6.
Well, it's really going down to a wireless environment, right? People don't want to wire their office space anymore, right? And these standards have been built and based on higher user density, right? It's if you look at the way they're doing with OFDMA, right, which is a multiple access to the clients or the Wi-Fi, it's truly a wireless switch now that's giving everybody their own spatial stream to access the network, guaranteeing them throughput and reliability.
That's awesome. I think as we look forward again, I mentioned 5G, Wi-Fi 6. Is there a seamless transition between those from a security perspective? I've got my mobile phone. I'm using my 5G signal. Now I come in a building that's Wi-Fi 6. I'm hearing that there's a possibility of that identity bridging, seamlessly. Is that true?
There's discussions in the works, right? I mean, it's built-in security now that you don't have to overdo an overlay onto the network. It's all built into the actual solution. So yes.
Awesome. So if a customer wanted to see more about Wi-Fi 6. Where would they be able to see this in real life?
Well, we actually have multiple vendors in our innovation center down in Austin with the latest and greatest access points up running, and we can actually showcase that. We also have white papers available that are from Red River that talks about these standards and how we can actually deploy and design around them.
Awesome. Now in the Innovation Center, are we also showcasing anything, wayfinding or user experience related?
We are. We actually have both those applications. We have a wayfinding. We have also what's asset tracking, right? And these standards are built around that as well. So you can actually now look at assets as well on the network.
Awesome. It seems like there's a huge future for all this stuff. Is this something that we're going to see next week or next month, or what's the rollout look like?
Well, the rollouts, it really goes off the refresh of the client. We actually are deploying them today in certain environments. And as we got a refresh going on, it seems like people are going with the 802.11ax access points.
So, they're putting in these access points. We hear 5G. Do I need both?
Not necessarily. I mean, the idea is internally, it's again a complementary, right? The carriers are going to want, of course, to put put the 5G network in, right? But then there's also issues of trying to access internal resources off of those networks because they're really a carrier network, right?
Yeah.
We're really seeing a lot of clients building a complementary Wi-Fi network and then adding on to the 5G.
Awesome. So as we go to Wi-Fi 6, 5G. The density, we talk about user density, we talk about security. But from my deployment footprint, is it going to be costing me more? Do I have more ugly warts that are going to be sitting on the ceiling, or how's that going to happen?
Well, we try to hide the ugly warts, right? We got enclosures and ceiling tiles that we can actually do, but it really goes down to a higher density of access points, right? Your typical deployment today for voice and RTLS, it'll actually improve those solutions and use pretty much the same amount of access points.
Interesting. Another use case that I've been hearing about for, that Wi-Fi 6 really could add some value is using radio signals rather than Bluetooth to identify presence in a room or movement through the room. Again, that sounds pretty Star Trek-y. Is that reality, or?
Yeah, it is, actually. I mean, we looked at a lot of stuff we've seen on Star Trek in the past, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's all coming to fruition. We can actually do triangulation now with Wi-Fi and get to 1 to 3 meters of accuracy.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah,
I mean
it's kind of scary, actually. It's kind of scary.
Exactly, and you were mentioning we were talking about the ugly warts and things. And I think one thing that I've seen from the mobility practice is a real concentrated effort on blending things in, using custom covers, enclosures, things like that, to not only hide it, but and add all that utility and experience, without detracting from that.
That's correct. We actually we work with particular OEMs. We come up with enclosure types, and we even have the ability now to skin access points. So we can actually make it look like a tree. We can make it look at the color of the wall that you want on. Even it's kind of neat. It is crazy. It's kind of neat, but it helps the environment of a facility.
Awesome. Well, thanks a lot for joining us.
No, I really do appreciate you having me here, Kevin.
Anytime. And that's Tech Talk for today. Thanks for joining us. And again, if you want to find out more about Wi-Fi 6, 5G, contact us at Red River.